What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Figure It Out show. My name is Dalton, and this is episode 1, System Overload. Today we'll talk about the things you got to do to take care of your body, to make sure you're on point and healthy enough to do the type of things that you want to do. A little bit about me. I'm a music producer and audio engineer that's now jumped into the tech world. I'm learning how to code. I've started my own big curriculum of everything that I'm learning. And I'm taking this journey into the tech world. I want to bring everybody along with me. So I started this podcast, and the FIO show will be just that. We're going to figure it out along the way, and we're going to have some fun at the same time. As always, we're going to have the homepage, which is tech news from this week. And in the upload, this is where we're going to get into the things that you have to do to take care of your body, to stay disciplined in all 3 parts of your life, which I call your mind, body, and soul or spirit. And it's really important to making sure that you're prepared for whatever journey you're in. This is a tech journey that I'm taking. It's a lot of time in the computer, a lot of hours, making sure that my mind is on point and that I'm clear-headed and I'm in a nice space to work for that amount of time is really important. That's almost more important than the information that I'm learning. So this is why we're taking this episode early, get some tips out there, some of the things that I do, start learning from the community. We're going to build the community, so I'm always open for suggestions. So that's really important to me. So that's in the upload today. And in the download, today we're going to talk about Black Panther. Oh man, it's coming. I had a huge opening day ticket sales. The tickets just went on sale, and it's almost seeming like it's going to be a holiday here in Atlanta when the movie comes out. So I'm really excited about that also. Let's get started. First, in this week's episode, we're going to talk about the Consumer Electronics Show, better known as CES. Happens every year in January in Las Vegas. All of the big electronic companies get together and host presentations and present products on where they think the future of electronics is going. There's always a takeaway of a few different themes or a lot of themes that eventually within the next year or 2 will be a big part of the retail environment for electronics. So it's always good to keep an eye out on what's going on. A lot of people are critical of it. They don't think it's cool. I haven't been. I'm new in the technology world, so I'm definitely waiting to get out there. I'm going to be out there in 2019. It's just a year from now. I'm taking everybody with me. Meaning I'm going to do an episode, maybe even live by then. I'm not even sure. But that's just on the horizon, just throwing that out there. A few of the things that I noticed as takeaways from this year's show were the focus on vehicles, self-driving cars, electronic vehicles, and a lot of the different features that are on the horizon for that. I know we all have heard of, Uber's attempt at self-driving vehicles that they've released, or Tesla's features in the cars that they've released. But it looks like all of the major automakers are making some sort of strides towards introducing electric vehicles, using autonomous vehicles, which are self-driving cars or don't require a driver at all times. And outside of the fear that it naturally gives most people that haven't experienced it yet, from all accounts, we're on the leading edge and progressing towards having people not even really needing cars in the next 10 or 15 years because they'll have so much access to transportation through other means. And it's really cool to know where the future of technology is going, even with our everyday needs, just like transportation. So we'll see. Okay, another thing about self-driving cars. There's one report that if you were born today or if you have a child today where all of us are focused on getting a driver's license, that person, by the time they're 16, they won't even need a driver's license. They'll be able to access all of the features, or the thought of wanting a driver's license will be foreign to them at that point because of so much of the self-driving or Uber-based taxi type of technology that's going to evolve to being a mainstay in everyday society. So we have to see it. I got to see it. I want to see it happen. I know there's going to be a curve. Hopefully no one gets hurt during that curve, or, they're able to control it and reduce The amount of traffic-based accidents, I think I saw it say that there were about over 30,000 traffic accidents or fatalities in a year. So if it brings that number down at all, I'm with it. You know, we got to take care of people out there. A few of the different types of vehicles that were there, you had Torque Robotics, who develops different software for self-driving cars. They had a Lexus RX 450 able to show people that it could handle the traffic of the Las Vegas city streets. Wait a minute, let's talk about Vegas for a minute. I love the Strip. I like to stay in the middle of the Strip so I can kind of just walk to everything because traffic is crazy. I rented a car one time, or the first time I went to Vegas. Didn't want to do it again, and this was before Uber actually took taxis or their metro rail that goes above. But yeah, that wasn't a tangent. It actually goes with the story. So if their Lexus was able to handle the traffic, that's really impressive. That's a big presentation in itself. So that was cool. There's another company, Aptiv, that had a self-driving car working with Lyft to actually bring people to and from CES, which is another cool way to have a presentation. Some other cool stuff reported from the convention was a autonomous off-road vehicle. So little ATVs, or what's normally considered an ATV by Honda, was shown. A Honda 3E-D18 is an off-road four-wheel vehicle that has different accessories that can be added to it, maybe like a wheelbarrow or some sort of scoop. That's what my grandma would say, the scoop. ATVs, self-driving ATVs, they're coming. That's the point. All right, let's keep going. Not only do we have autonomous ATVs coming, there's also big vehicles like the Autonom Cab by Navia and also the Toyota e-Pallet, which are both big vehicles that can deliver both cargo. Like the e-Pallet, it doubles as a group passenger van that can clear out, raise its walls, and actually deliver cargo and packages when it's not transporting people. There was even a self-flying helicopter from Voyocopter there, so that lets you know where the future of transportation and technology together are going. Another thing was TVs, which is the next thing we'll discuss from CES. Big TVs with different types of technology was definitely on display. Mainly a lot of OLED screens, which are organic LED screens. The biggest difference between LED and OLED or LCD. OLED doesn't use any reflectors or any sort of backlight with the technology. All of the stuff inside of the monitor is organically able to glow with an electric current, which is the reason for the O. Just a brief description of the technology. Don't want to get too deep on it. But one of its biggest claims to fame is that it can produce a perfect black color in the screen with the right amount of contrast, brightness. So problematic to say, but I mean black, the color in the display of the screen. Nothing extra. I'm black. I think that's the only reason I recognize it, but no matter what type of black it is, black is beautiful. So yes, having a perfect type of black color coming out of screen. Tangent. Okay. Another cool way TVs are being used are now those wallpaper thin TVs can roll up like a fruit roll up and store itself in a piece of furniture, like a mantle or a rectangular box that just looks like a shelf. It's now a TV holder. And when you're ready to watch TV, the whole TV will pop up and be the size of your normal TV outside of this box that ends up being a shelf or a holder for the TV when it's being used, and a shelf or a decorative bookcase or something like that when it's not being used. So interesting, so cool, especially for people like me that like fashion, that like furniture and design. It'll be something we all want on our house to give it that, je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais quoi. That was all just fluff. But yeah, to give it the vibe that you like, with people liking to customize their area or customize the design of their area in their homes, apartments, condos, all of that. So products like this will take entertainment design into the future. I remember my grandmother had a big screen TV. It wasn't nothing, probably 45 inches now that I think about it. But the furniture-looking doors on the front of that made it so luxurious and so fashion-forward as far as furniture that she was stunting. She was shutting it down with the big screen TV that had the closing doors. Plus, she was just ahead of her time. She had swag. So shouts out to my grandma, Earlene. Anyways, I will always take a tangent for my family. All right, y'all, next, I got a question for you. What streaming TV service do you use? And we're not talking about cracked Fire Sticks or your Kodi systems or anything like that. For TV, for your TV entertainment, do you use Hulu or do you use Netflix? I'm only asking because one of the stories that stuck out to me from CES was the Hulu presentation and how they came straight at Netflix's neck. I'm sure these two companies don't like each other because they're both leaders in TV streaming. And recently, Netflix boasted spending $8 billion on their content that they're licensing and original content. So Hulu came out and said, yo, your $8 billion really isn't nothing. It can't match up to the $20 to $30 billion in content availability that we have. Now what? Really, that is kind of honestly summing it up. The CEO of Hulu, Randy Freer, was speaking on stage at CES, and he said that Netflix throws around that $8 billion number too much. Because with Hulu's owners include Comcast, which is NBC Universal's owner. It includes Disney, which is ABC's owner, 21st Century Fox, also Time Warner, which owns HBO and CNN, by the way. So they're like, we got $20 billion of content that we can throw a number around, but we have to do it strategically. Quite honestly, one of Hulu's biggest wins recently was The Handmaid's Tale, which is original content. And The Handmaid's Tale, if you don't know, is the first show from a streaming service to win an Emmy for Best Drama. So that's pretty big. Although Hulu's direction is kind of foggy because of Comcast coming in on their strategy later this year, they should still be a major player in the field. I'm a subscriber of both of the services, so it's kind of interesting to see them go back in this war. They both provide kind of different things for me. More movies on Netflix and more TV or daily content on Hulu. So they both can live together, right? It's enough money out here for everybody. One thing I did like that Mr. Freer said is all media companies have to be tech companies too. That's true. They have to be tech companies. We all watch our content on several devices, not just one controlled device like a TV that has one cable programming company. No, it's kind of over for that. So they all have to evolve and be able to provide content to the different devices. And that's probably why you notice most of the media companies are owned by technology companies. Comcast, Time Warner are all in media companies. So pay attention. Stay woke. Stay woke. Hey. Speaking of staying woke, now we're going to move into the upload section for this week. I mentioned staying woke because in any industry, if you're a student of that industry or if you're working hard, from athletics to art to acting, anything that you have a passion for, you'll end up devoting a lot of time to it, whether you're staying up late at night or whether you're waking up early in the morning, and whatever you're doing in between, right? It's important for us to stay focused on that balance between taking care of ourselves and going hard for the mission and going hard for our dreams and going hard towards our goals. It can't be unbalanced. I'm learning that the more and more I go on, just jumping right in. Part of my struggle or part of my, the things that I'm learning to take time with is planning, discipline, focus, not necessarily to focus on the task at hand, but making sure all the tasks are in line. I'm a father, I'm an employee, and I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm balancing all of those things along with my interest and my developed passion for technology and coding. There's a sweet science to interweaving them all together to work perfectly for me in these 24 hours that we have. I'm kind of figuring it out. I'm figuring it out as I go. I don't want to get deep right now, but your mind, body, and your spirit all have to be on the same page. They all have to be on the same page and dedicated towards whatever mission you're on. No matter what it is, you can fill in the blank. For us, it's coding and technology. For you, it may be school, work, your relationship with anyone. Trust me, I'm single right now, so definite tangent that I'm going to reel back. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to let y'all know my business that fast, but yeah. So my days have been really focused on getting the maximum amount of progress in. Evan Carmichael, he's a YouTuber. So just even to explain, I started researching the best things to do, following success, following just the best ways to optimize my day. Did all sorts of research on YouTube, talked to some successful people that I know. But a lot of the biggest things was getting the biggest bang for the buck, which is free on YouTube, and having a wealth of information from people that have already done it, billionaires, different tech entrepreneurs, people who already are successful at knowing the things that I want to learn. So soak it up from there. Implement some of the things is what I've been trying to do, starting by getting up earlier in the morning. Now, I normally would get up at about 9 or 10 a.m. before, figuring out that I have to get up before everyone else, not even in competition with anyone else, but to maximize the amount of time I have in a day. Yes, I'm a competitor. I want to be better than my opponent, but I never really focus on other opponents. I've studied great athletes, like great boxers like Mike Tyson. Never really saw the guy, never paid attention to any of his opponents until right before he stood in front of their face in the ring. That's when he honed in on them, looked them in his eyes and saw through their soul and was ready to, tangent, bring it back. But I've started trying to wake up at 5 a.m., and it's not to wake up earlier than everyone else, but it's to get up at a time that I have the optimum amount of time in a day to do everything that I want to do, which naturally will make me better than my opponent. So that's kind of important, or that's the thinking behind getting up earlier each day. It gives me more time to organize my whole day, catching up on news and different information before I officially start the day, and actually officially starting the day earlier, like 7 or something like that. And my goal is to make sure I get between 5 and 6 hours of sleep a night. So I'm still going hard until about 11 or 12 at night. Did a little research on the best amount of hours of sleep. A lot of people think it's 8 hours. Certain people need 8 to 10 hours. I don't. I only need between 4 and 6 hours of sleep, and as long as it's kind of strategically placed between midnight and 5, I'm good. So I challenge you to figure out what your perfect kind of time or sweet spot for the amount of sleep, and then reduce it. Sleep is important. It's people that need extra sleep because of how they take care of their bodies when they're awake, and that includes eating right and exercising while you are awake, so you maximize the amount of energy you have. It kind of works hand in hand. So that brings me to my diet, or I don't really have a diet. I have gone vegan. I will say that. I'm officially vegan because I tried to eat some cheese last week and it shut me down. It broke me all the way down. So yes, I am officially vegan. I started like 10 days before the new year. It's now January 16th. So I'm pretty much like 3 weeks into being a full-out vegan, and it was really for the challenge. I started for the challenge. With us having this conversation about mind, body, and soul, having that challenge for my diet, or the discipline that would come from that, kind of just went hand in hand with the things I'm putting inside of my brain, the things I'm adding to my life to make sure that I'm successful in this whole journey. So just a few things, not really a big technical conversation, but our bodies are like machines. If we're letting it overheat or aren't giving it enough electricity whatever other little cliche you want to put in there. It's important that we take care of ourselves. And part of the reason I am able to take on all of these tasks and try to do it to the best of my abilities is because I'm making sure I'm staying focused, making sure I'm staying to a discipline, staying on my own case, putting the foot in my own ass like, yo, you have to go. You have to do it. You have to think of yourself already where you want to be. Not only imagining and creating and envisioning anything that you want, but literally pushing yourself, and you have to live the life that you want to achieve. It's okay. We're going to figure it out together. Now we're going to move on to the download section where we discuss new music, movies, and apps, any other cool sort of entertainment content. First thing I'm talking about today is Marvel's Black Panther. And if you don't know, it follows Marvel's first ever, like from back in the day, black superhero, T'Challa. And he's going to be played by Chadwick Boseman. You may remember him from Jackie Robinson or Get On Up. Also, he battles an old enemy. One of the enemies he's fighting is Michael B. Jordan. But this is a big cast. It has Lupita Nyong'o and Denai Guerrera from The Walking Dead. So it's going to be really nice. I mean, Angela Bassett's in it. Come on now. From the announcement of the movie, everybody has been on edge, but the pre-sale for the tickets went on sale January 10th, Wednesday, and it overtook the top pre-sale record, which was previously held by another Marvel movie, Captain America: Civil War. So I'm ready. I'll be in line. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is an app, the Google Arts and Culture app, which actually has been out since 2016. Some of the app's main features is that it gives you access to thousands of art expos and museums, different paintings and portraits that are in Google's database. And over this past weekend, they added a feature that allows you to take a selfie. You know the world loves selfies. It scans those facial features and compares its database to all of the portraits that are in the database and gives you a handful of pictures in history that you actually look like. I did it. I played with it for like 30 minutes. I only meant to download it just to review it for the show, but I played with it for like 30 minutes to an hour, taking different angles of my face, different selfies, and just based on the comments, it's really cool. A lot of people are posting their results. They're finding works of art that they like, go figure, or artists that they never knew about, or works that they never heard about. So it's great promotion for the app, gets people involved, and anything that gets user engagement is great for technology, great for an app, shows a sign of success. So it's something I'll definitely keep in mind in the development of different applications or different ideas. It's available for download on both platforms, so download it and have some fun. Let's finish off today's episode and talk about some music. Let me open my Apple Music. Stop saying which app I'm opening, but I have like every Jay-Z album on my recent listens because this past weekend I had a lot of coding lessons to do to catch up on, honestly. And I said, I need somebody that has a lot of music that I can put on and listen to their whole catalog and just let it play all day. Going back to the upload, I've been doing kind of research on everybody that's great. Jay-Z's a great rapper, and beyond that, he's an example to me of transcending your circumstances. No matter where you come from or what you have going on previously, you can switch it up, boss up, and learn everything that you need to learn on the job. And he actually learned how to be a businessman on the job. Wait a minute. A legal businessman on the job, a CEO on the job, and a successful black man on the job. And that's not easy. And he's done it really, really well. So I put on the projects and I started from his first album and just kind of listened to what he was talking about. And as he progressed by his second or third album, he was, talking about different things, about not where he came from so much, or the challenges that he was experiencing every day on his first or second album, but more, oh, this is a new plateau that I've reached, and how am I going to handle myself here? How are things going to work here? And then by the next album or two, he said, I've got a good handle on the things up here, and I'm getting a lot of success, so I'm going to have some fun, and I'm going to share some of it with you if you choose to listen. Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. So this is by like the blueprint time, right? Did I try to sound like Hove a little? Hove did that, so hopefully. But yeah, no, by that time he was more so starting to share a lot of the business acumen that he was learning. So by now, once I got up to the 444 album, it was pretty much all lessons that allowed me to see where he's come from and respect it, really respect it. So yeah, the 444 album, it's nominated for several Grammys coming up, and I hope it wins all of them, because honestly, that's a hell of a career. It was a great album, great listen. So 444 and the rest of his albums are the things that I've been listening to this week. That being said, that brings us to the end of our second episode, and it feels better every time. I still have a lot to work on, but we are going to figure it out, because one of my favorite quotes is, you're going to get nowhere if you don't start somewhere. And I'm starting here. So my name is Dalton. Thanks for joining me. Peace, y'all.
1, 2, 3, we gon' start this. Alright, we gon' figure it out. We gon' figure it out. Alright, we gon' figure it out. We gon' figure it out. 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 We gon' figure it out. We gon' figure it out. Figure it out. We gon' figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. We gon' figure it out. Figure it out. We gon' figure it out. Figure it out. We gon' figure it out.